Punch Audio presents My War in the Jungle, the long-delayed memoir of a Marine lieutenant in Vietnam, 1968 to 69. Written by G.M. Davis. Narrated by Alex Hyde-White. He which hath no stomach to this fight, let him depart. His passport shall be made, and crowns for convoy put into his purse. We would not die in that man's company that fears his fellowship to die with us. This day is called the Feast of Crispian. He that outlives this day and comes safe home will stand a tiptoe when this day is named, and rouse him at the name of Crispian. He that shall live this day and see old age will yearly on the vigil feast his neighbors and say, "Tomorrow is St. Crispian." Then he will strip his sleeves and show his scars and say, "These wounds I had on Crispian's day." From this day to the ending of the world, but we in it shall be remembered, we few, we happy few, we band of brothers. For he today that sheds his blood with me shall be my brother. And gentlemen in England now abed shall think themselves accursed they were not here, and hold their manhoods cheap whilst any speaks that fought with us upon St. Crispian's day. William Shakespeare, Henry V, Act 4, Scene 3. I started this memoir in part to honor those warriors who fought and sometimes fell alongside me in a conflict our nation would willingly forget. We must not let that happen. Names on a wall are not enough. We who returned should ever stand a tiptoe, strip our sleeves and show our scars while others hold their manhoods cheap. We need not live or die in those men's company. This book is dedicated to the names on the wall and to the good and true Marines of 3rd Platoon, Kilo Company, 3rd Battalion, 9th Marines, September 1968 to March 1969. Preface. This book began as 10 or so typewritten pages many years ago. I wrote those pages trying to face a time I would sooner leave behind, to try to lay quiet the terrors of the past. A couple of old Marines I knew looked it over and told me to keep going. I have done so in fits and starts over the last 15 years. It hasn't been easy. Vietnam veterans who read it, or in this instance, hear it now, may also find it not easy. Still, writing about what happened 50 years ago has been cleansing to some degree. Here I attempt to describe the action and the stillness, the aloneness and the camaraderie, the monotony and the excitement, the fear and the elation, the love and the hatred, and the overall misery involved in close combat. It was a time of life and death. I have never thought that this story has been told. Not my story, necessarily, but the account of what it was like fighting toe-to-toe against a well-trained, well-supplied, and well-motivated force in a jungle of almost impenetrable darkness. Hollywood and other authors of fiction and nonfiction have visited and revisited Vietnam over and over, but I don't think I have seen the war I fought, either on the screen or in print. I believe the story, as I and the brave men who served with me experienced it, is worth telling. Here's a quote from Tim O'Brien. And in the end, of course, a true war story is never about war. It's about sunlight. It's about the special way that dawn spreads out on a river when you know you must cross the river and march into the mountains and do things you are afraid to do. It's about love and memory. It's about sorrow. It's about sisters who never write back and people who never listen. That was from author Tim O'Brien, from his book, The Things They Carried. And while this is a memoir, it depends on the memory of things long past. If you see or hear something you think is not factual, it is history to me. Personal war stories are invariably untrue, because the rush of adrenaline followed by the
Sample complete. Ready to continue?